This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk about online trainers versus one-to-one trainers. Who's better? Who gets better results? Which is the greater trainer? And of course, we've got a protein bar review. Three, two, one. I think we've been 1 year in lockdown, Daniel.
Oh my God. Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, bub?
That is depressing, isn't it? That is
I was just looking at my diary, and it's the 16th today, so this comes out on the 17th. And Third Space started paying me for furlough as of the 17th of March last year, or whatever it was. So I believe that was when we shut the gyms. We shut a little bit early, but that's when it kicked off. So as of this show, it will come out on the 17th of March. 1 year ago, I was not allowed in the gym. And this is Bunkercast number 39. Obviously, we did 2 a week, so we're probably around about a year. For a couple, and then we skipped a few. Then we were allowed out of lockdown. Then we were back in and back in, and in, out. Did a bit of hokey cokey, and then here we are now, mate.
It's just crazy. It just doesn't even. I just can't even understand.
It was interesting as well because I was listening. I only kind of I like twigged because I listened to various podcasts, but one of them actually is in LA, and they normally do it in a studio. In like 5 of them got like a proper. It's NFL Network, so they've got a proper setup, right? It's like legit on film, everything, headsets, bum 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 bum, and then they had to quickly do one scantily together when they got locked down in each other's houses, and like 5 different houses, and they played a bit of the audio. That they did it on a Google Hangout. I was like, this is NFL Network. They've got producers, people, editors. They
should have come to us.
The audio quality was terrible. It was so basic. It was insane that they're like, how could you, like, obviously our setups changed like year by year by year by year. But I was like, I'm pretty sure our audio quality wasn't that bad. Straight out, because we use one of my client lent us some like Rode mics and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, you know what I'll do? We're gonna do one at home. I'm gonna contact somebody who's got lots of equipment. But it was really interesting.
Well, one of my clients is a sound engineer in the music industry, and he says that some episodes aren't up to scratch. And he says, I think he said it once on an update. He said, oh, you know, I've not been like absolutely perfect with macros or something along those lines. And then said, I'm sure you let it slide there because, you know, I let it slide when some of your podcasts aren't, you know, they're great at sound quality. it was something along those lines. And I was just like, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, I always say
it's probably me as well, because
he does say as well, it's not me, it's usually you, because of I've got the Jabra, so it's all very good.
It's usually if I'm not at home and I don't have my podcaster mic, that is normally the case. There is every now and again I've got to, like, probably over the 200 episodes we've done, normally I have my Blue Snowball, and I will be going to an XLR from Luke's giving me. But then that's going to be crisp. But sometimes, I would have used like, what are these? My B&O from my headphones. I've used some Jabra wires.
I think
the Mac one as well.
Yeah, I think to be honest, he was just angling for us to say, here, you can do it for us for free if you want. Because obviously he's obviously not busy enough. So I think maybe we'll just send him the file for him to have a little look at it and help us.
I mean, the point is, we do it on the Tuesday night, so it goes up by Wednesday morning normally.
No, mate, he'll work all through the night for us. Don't worry about it. I'm sure he would. If it bothers him that much, I'm sure he would. It's fine.
But yeah, mate, lovely. 1 year in.
I can't believe it's been a year.
I feel sorry for some of the people that obviously, like, they entered lockdown like basically 2 years of their life. Like, they would have had their birthday as soon as they were in lockdown, and they're still going to be in lockdown.
Well, I'm going to have 2 birthdays. I'm going to have 2 lockdown birthdays. Like, do you know what though? I can't believe I've been writing home workouts for a fucking year. I genuinely can't believe it. How I've managed to do that, I do not know. I just think everyone deserves a massive fucking pat on the back for getting through it. Like, it's just been horrific. And I think without being too cliche, I think everyone will come out of it a bit stronger. But I think everyone will come out of it, I think, appreciating a lot more, which is no bad thing, I suppose. But it's been fucking hard, hasn't it? I think for me, the peak difficulty was definitely about 6 to 8 weeks ago. That was the peak for me. That third lockdown, about 4 weeks into homeschooling, I was just this is horrific. I think the first one actually wasn't that bad. It was the summer. It was all right. It was a bit of an unknown. Second one was necessary, and before Christmas, like, who the fuck cares? And then this one has just been.
This one, yeah, everybody's gone like, this one's the worst, just because it's long, and it was kind of like, we're not really sure when we're coming out of it. We're just going to make sure when we come out.
I'm just glad that the vaccine program went all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when that started and they were like, oh, we're going to do however many million a week. I was like, you fucking are no way you're going to do that. And then they did. And I was like, fucking hell, fair play. The first thing they said they would do in a year that they've actually done. So, yeah, it's all right.
And obviously they're all up in arms at the moment in the EU going, oh, why don't I do the AstraZeneca one? Jesus. Like, and then people are getting scared about the media of how they've been publishing it as well on the blood clot situation, just in case anybody wants to get up with I like looking at stats and figures and stuff like that, so I quite read into them. And then obviously there's researchers going, it's fine. So they're scared. Some people are scared that you're getting an impedance of blood clots, which has not been associated yet with the AstraZeneca vaccine. It's just because they have had blood clots since they've had the AstraZeneca vaccine. But bearing in mind, over 17 million people in this country have had a AstraZeneca vaccine. 40 people have had blood clots. You know what is normal for that amount of people? How many blood clots they would have expected in that time frame over the last couple of months to have blood clots in that population? Over 200 they would have expected. So the impedance rate is actually down. It just so happens. So they were like, yeah, and so basically, if you have the AstraZeneca, so they were like, you're like 1 in 600, like 60,000, like might die from COVID if you got it. And then if you just got the blood clot, it's like 1 in 875,000 or something like that. And then if you don't have it, if you have the AstraZeneca vaccine, you won't get it. It's like,
that's not going to sell papers though, Tom.
It's insane. They're like, oh, all these people have had an AstraZeneca vaccine, and then suddenly 8 weeks later they've had a blood clot. It's like, yeah, but also they would have had it anyway. Like, it doesn't matter.
How healthy are they? What else are they doing? How obese are they? You know, I just find it odd.
They're like it's stuff like deep vein thrombosis and stuff that's going to be stopping some for the lungs and stuff like that. That's the issue of the blood clots. But it was just like, has nobody written the paper on actually going, well, no, like over 200 people would have expected to die from blood clots anyway. So it's actually a better risk factor than we had previously, and they're not going to die from COVID. Which is way more deadly than blood clots. Insane. Media, Daniel.
I know. Crazy, isn't it?
Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? We decided, that's our general news today. Nothing else has happened really, I don't think. I don't know, in the media. To be honest, so. you probably noticed I didn't really post on social media last week because busy. We're into week 4 of filming the PT core. Don't quote me on the name because still don't know. I think a lad, Joe, did give me a name, but I lolled it. But yeah, we don't really know the name. Reach out to us. Reach out, see what it was. Can't remember what the name was. Dan, have you got a name for our course that's going to take the world by storm?
I thought it was going to be Core, and that was the working title, PTC Core.
That's the working title, mate. Yeah.
Call it...
Because everybody else is called like advanced or stuff like that, or elite, or because I was like, because obviously all the stuff that I'm teaching I take for granted, and I'm just like, this is just stuff we do, but it's meant to have you like, it's advanced from what it is from level 3, right? That's the whole premise. It's meant to keep you in the industry. It's like, it's meant to be like, from the level 3, this is all you need to know for the first 2 years of your career. You'll be in the industry and you'll have a leg up, and then you'll be able to specialize.
I think isn't there one that's like an S&C one, like level 4 strength and conditioning? I know I've seen that one before.
There's a level 4 S&C, yeah. The level 4 is like all encompassing. There is actually a level 4 advanced personal training, but we can't call it levels. we can't say it's level 4 qual because we're not going to do that with because we'll have to jump through some hoops in terms of.
I would call it like PTC Jedi or something like that. just really go for it.
Just do that.
Do you know what I mean?
Because we liked obviously the PT core because it was PTC again, but we can only we've already got PTC and nobody's going to steal this in time to put it all over their stuff, which is position, technique, and coaching. Oh yeah, it's how you set up a client. I was like, yeah, that was me, Luke, and Gordon on a brainstorming session. Basically, I have a few different acronyms that I use for people to set up anyway when I coach, and I was like this, or LAS, or whatever it was. I'd done one before, and then I was like, oh yeah, we can make it fit the PTC. That'd be cool. And then it's really easy to write and far easier to instruct. PTC. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to go through. It seemed to be a theme from our group. Who are PTs that are getting qualified, because I'm sure PTs that are getting qualified or thinking about being qualified or whatever are going to stumble across this podcast. It'll be a nice little title for the show, is online training versus one-to-one training. Is I think the general theme of what we'll talk about, and probably the options you do have within the one-to-one training as well, because people don't really understand that. And there are several different things you want or can do in terms of income, and just putting it by there, completely biased. Myself and Dan have only really been in, I don't know, really one scenario with those one-to-one training, so we know what one we would go for. But I guess we can talk from like a pure gym model or a boutique model, or what we came from a commercial model really, but like a privileged commercial model, because obviously we're no white males, aren't we? So we were privileged. That's what I mean by that, Daniel. Nothing
Always.
else. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, mate. Oh, we got protein bars. Should we do that now? Protein bar review. What's that?
You need to get a new jingle for that little thing you do.
I feel like you need to get a jingle. You need to sing. Clearly the talent. I've got some guitars sitting right there. I should just go.
Yeah, you should play some
ukulele. I should bring that. Maybe I'll work a little bit of uke. That'd be good.
Yeah, try that. Put that in.
I'm not going to do it now, but yeah, maybe by the next time I'll have a ukulele.
Mate, this protein bar's got 30 grams of protein in it, by the way.
All right, okay. We haven't discussed what we're doing, Daniel. Jesus. All right, so
and I just looked at it and I was just like, hang on a minute.
So we've got 2 bars, obviously from Protein Pick and Mix. Unfortunately, Nikki has not sent us any new ones. Dan,
oh, Nikki!
Dan's yawning all the way through this. Good.
It's been a long day, mate.
GTV. Correct.
Oh, which one we got? This one.
We're gonna go this one. So we got these ones.
Outright.
This one. Outright. And then we got this one.
I've got Go Tasty peanut butter.
You got Go Tasty peanut butter. I have a Go Taste. I Am Tasty.
Sorry, I Am
Nutrition.
Tasty.
Yeah, I Am Tasty white chocolate crispy. And then we've got outright gingerbread peanut butter. What have you gone for? Gingerbread peanut butter?
A bit oily. The packaging's a bit oily.
I could feel it. I could feel it inside. It's sliding around. I've got to admit,
good, is it?
It's sliding around the package.
You know what it looks a bit like? It looks like a bit like the texture of those bounce balls. Remember those bounce balls?
I'm not a big fan of those though. No, one of my clients used to religiously have them before my training session all the time. It's good for me, isn't it, Tom? I was like, yeah, it's fine. You can have anything you like. You can do what you like. So should we go through the nutrition facts while Dan stuffs his face? I like that. Instead of nutritional content, it says nutrition facts on the back. Serving size, 1 bar, 60 grams, 290 calories. What we got? Total fats, 15 grams. Don't care about what they are. Carbs, 23 grams. Protein, 16 grams. I feel like the benchmark has to be 20, and then you start losing points, I feel, for a protein bar.
The protein intake in it is poor.
Yeah.
But it's actually really nice.
Is it? Yeah. Right, Dad, before this episode, was like, oh, we only got the white ones left.
Oh, it's 290 calories. It just tastes like good peanut butter in a bar. Like, it tastes like, I don't know, like, it tastes like you've just put your spoon in a peanut butter jar and eaten it. Like, it's a bit like, it's just nice. Like, but it's not a protein bar. It's just a peanut butter bar that's got 16 grams of protein in it because peanuts have got protein in them. Like,
that's literally just peanut butter.
It is just like it's like eating peanut butter. Like, I don't understand.
It has got a wisp of gingerbread in it. I can.
And it's just enough as well. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's got graham crackers in it. It's got whey protein in it.
What did you?
I mean, I was skeptical, but that is very good.
Interesting, isn't it? Did you say graham cracker?
You know graham crackers. You know, like the crispy crackers that you make with s'mores.
Yeah, they're not called graham crackers.
No, but they're like the same thing, though, aren't they? Like they've got a bit of cinnamon in them.
They're also called graham crackers.
Are they? It says graham crackers. I read it, right?
Graham crackers, aren't they? I mean, if you're American, Chloe, you're not American, but I'm pretty sure it's a graham cracker. Didn't you? We've both been to Camp America. I swear they're graham crackers.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing crunchy in it, but so I don't know where the cracker is. So I don't know where it is. I just was reading the ingredients.
It's good though. I would quite happily get a piece of toast and spread that. Dan's finished it, so
I would buy them again. I would buy another one. But the problem with it is it's just a fucking snack. It's not a protein bar. It's. I mean, maybe I could justify it.
Ridiculous. All right. You can go through.
Really like that.
I have. Oh, we got different ones, haven't we? I'm gonna have
That'll be the same.
White chocolate crispy from I Am Tasty, 50% protein bar.
30 grams of protein in them. That is impressive. That's the best I've ever seen in a bar. I'm gonna throw it out there. It's gonna be so hard to eat though because of it. Yeah, it's not gonna be nice. This one.
It's really.
Right, just for context, guys, right? This is a 60-gram bar, so it's the same as a carb killer bar. It's the same size and shape and everything. Only it's got 50% more protein than a carb killer.
But if I've got 31 grams of protein.
That's not bad, though.
It's better than I thought it would be. It took a little bite, but I've had Chewy.
Right. On a scale of Quest bars were the first ever protein bars to protein pantry.
I knew you were going to say that. On a scale
it's
of
in the
Quest
middle
to protein pantry.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle.
I feel like Dan. Right, we're gonna have to do this as like not a spoof episode, but we're gonna have to we'll do a little poll online and be like, what are the chewiest Quest bars? And we're just gonna have to order that.
Oh. Hang on, really bad aftertaste though. Really bad aftertaste.
You've got what was your flavour?
Peanut butter crispy. It was going so well. Oh no! There's something in that. No.
Yeah, mine's all right. Mine's white chocolate crispy, and what we said previously, as we're getting pros at this, it's got the texture, so the crispy is actually there, so it's all right. Much like the the Tesco one. My one tastes like the Milky Way Tesco-y one. What are they called?
Oh, I can't remember now.
Somebody will be screaming at the thing.
Go Active bars or something stupid.
Or something like that. Yeah, they're always really good. And they're like, I used to buy all of them when they were like £1 each.
That was horrible. That aftertaste and that was minging.
But interesting, yeah. That's what it looks like.
It was going so well as well. It was going so well. I mean, like I said,
not too bad.
They're no Quest bars, but they're also no protein pantry bars. So that's a winner. That one for me.
You really like that one, don't you? I feel for my personal taste, I feel like the whatever the gingerbready, I don't really like it mixed in with. There's two strong flavors there. And
the gingerbread works in that really well.
I don't think the gingerbread works for me. It's a little bit too pungent. I would prefer basically. I would enjoy just a slab of peanut butter that's slightly dried up. Absolutely fine.
So the thing with the outright bars, with the marketing, is that the whole point of it says wholesome protein goodness, fresh, soft nut butter base with no sugar alcohols. So, if you get really bad tummy from the protein bars because of the sugar alcohols and the fiber, this doesn't have any in. So that is a good selling point, I have to say, because I like that.
Nice. Outright.
They've surprised me. They have surprised me. I mean, it is the same calories as a fucking chocolate bar, but
but
it tastes like a peanut butter.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
If you like peanut butter, here you go. If you like peanut butter and you eat it out the jar, and you usually have 800 calories in a serving, have this instead. That's the compromise. If you're looking at it for a protein bar, don't get it.
But I would say their packaging looks a bit lame.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Christmassy, isn't it? I think.
True. Yeah, I did buy these.
It says on the back, outright merry, and I'm like, well, why?
It's definitely a Christmas one, but yeah, you might not be. That's probably why they got the gingerbread on it, right?
The great thing about those is that they're not dry. You'd think it would be dry, but it's not.
just when you were like, it's very oily.
Yeah. I've got it in my hands now.
Oh no! As soon as you said that, I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to keep the wrapper around it, kind of get it away from that." Yeah, what we giving them out of 10?
Well, that one,
yeah,
it's a 2. 2 purely for the aftertaste.
I'm going to give it like a 4 to 5.
It was a 4 or 5, but then the aftertaste killed this one. So if we're going to go on your rating, I'd say that. The outright for me on taste is 8.5.
Wow.
For texture, it's on 8.5. For macros, it's down at 4.5. So overall, around
the only
7.
thing, yeah, we would have to like the I Am Tasty Bar macros. 31 grams of protein. I'm sorry, that's clawing back there. If your thing's about macros, you want to be macro man. Yeah, mate, grab some of them. 31 grams.
I mean, my hands are really oily now, but yeah, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised by the outright, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't hide it. I can't hide my surprise. I mean, that tasty one is never getting eaten. Never.
You're like, Laura, we've got a protein bar for you to try. Fair enough. All right,
outright bars.
Outright bars.
Just seeing what other. Oh, okay. They've got a few different ones.
Right.
Okay. So they've got outright ones that look like normal bars.
Okay. Was this a special edition then?
It may have been a Christmas special edition.
Jesus.
These actually look, oh my God, really nice. Yeah. I'm going to read out some flavors here to you. So gingerbread peanut butter was a Christmas special, Tom. So there you go. Oatmeal raisin peanut butter.
Okay.
White chocolate cranberry peanut butter. They do oatmeal raisin almond butter. Oh, so they do a s'mores peanut butter. So basically they've got a butterscotch peanut butter. So basically they've got peanut butter or almond butter bases.
Yeah.
And then you basically pick mochaccino white chocolate peanut butter. Sounds good.
Wow.
Again, they're tasty, they're nice, but they're not protein bars. They're just bars.
They're bars, aren't they?
But I have to say that they are a good surprise. They've got good reviews as well. Look online. Yeah. Amazon, good reviews, 4.6 average review out of 187 ratings.
That's pretty good.
Can't argue with that, you know.
It's pretty good. It's no Push Pull Legs podcast with about 150 reviews and at least a 4.9. But, you know, it's all right. We'll take sponsorship.
Although, weirdly, I've just noticed on one of the Amazon reviews, I read this and I was a bit weirded out by it. It says on here, consuming this product can expose you to the chemicals including lead, which is /are known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive harm.
Lead?
Why the fuck's there lead in it?
There can't be lead in it.
That's what it says. Warning, consuming this product can expose you to chemicals including lead.
Where does it say that?
Right under the nutrition facts thing.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. What's that all about? I take it back. I mean, if protein bar's got lead in it, I probably wouldn't eat it, to be honest. But
how strange.
There must be something they have to say in that because of an ingredient or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it's where it's grown or something. I don't know. Like, fuck knows. But I can wash my hands now because they're covered in oil.
You can go wash your hands.
I can still talk to you. It'll still reach in there. It's just
doubt it, mate. Nobody wants. You might just end up pissing.
Yeah. All right, mate. Of course I will. I'll come here. I can still hear you. I'm just cleaning my hands. Don't worry about it. That's not me pissing. That's the sink. It's the water in the sink.
I can see him on camera. The camera's followed him as well. He's got a really cool camera.
On a
gimbal that follows him
that
around.
Feels better.
But that feels better. Interesting. I mean, yeah. Dan's. I mean, I have actually gone to the toilet mid-show before, so. Yeah.
It's got to be done sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be done sometimes. All right. I guess we'll go into our content. So Daniel, let's just go for the hard-hitting question first. Online personal trainers versus one-to-one personal trainers. Who is better?
Who wins in a fight? I think. Oh, fucking hell! Good question.
I get. Yeah, it's always. It depends.
Who's better from what angle? From what angle? Correct. The consumer or the?
We're then have to go from a variety of angles, right? So let's break down on terms in terms of I guess parts of what we would consider stuff we would need to do PT. So let's start with results. That is probably the biggest thing.
I think we should categorize this as well by saying we're talking about the good people in both industries.
Yeah.
Because there's shit all over the place with this. We're talking about good people, right?
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
We're talking about best of. If you're going to aspire, you should be able to be good at this shit or not as good at this shit. Okay, so let's go weight loss results.
Online, definitely.
Online, I would agree. So just in case anybody's tuning into the show for the first time, Daniel is fully online. Tom, me, is fully in person. So we have our complete biases there. And we both dabble in education and stuff. I do more lecturing, let's say that, and Dan does more mentoring. So you tend to talk to people on a one-to-one basis. I like to talk to the masses, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I think is how we do that, just in case anybody really wants to know what we do. But which kind of goes in terms of, all right, who would be stronger nutritionally? One-to-one,
usually online.
I would, usually online trainers tend to be nutrition coaches. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. They tend to focus on nutrition more because they have more power over it. And if you want to go online, I would suggest you do the same, because it is, like Dan said, the best kind of result-based stuff you can get. Okay, it's keeping the results kind of, that's nutrition was educational specialism. So let's keep the results. Performance is going to cover like rehab, prehab, performing as a human being. Yeah.
In person, probably.
Yeah. Reasons?
I think you can accelerate clients through programs quicker. You know when they're more advanced, when they're ready to progress. You can pick up things a lot more quickly. You could stop them getting in bad habits quicker. I think they pick up things quicker because you use the right cues because you're there. I think also have a wider variety of I suppose equipment and ability to think on the fly, whereas I don't necessarily. You can have to wait till in the week after you get check-in or something like that. You know what I mean? I think there's that. Yeah, I would say that in person.
Oh yeah, I'd concur. I think performance-based goals and stuff like that should be. I don't know. It's an interesting one because there'll be people screaming down, and I know who you are, the powerlifting warriors, and I get you. But we're talking probably good, normally 80%.
No, we're talking 90%. Random people coming in off the street. We're talking about someone just starting their journey. The powerlifters would do it anyway.
Yeah, they're like, I get that because say like when I competed,
it's the same with bodybuilders. You could say the same with bodybuilders though, and it's one of those where it's like, well, yeah, but they're they're so like nailed on that they just sit there and wait for the leg press if it meant they had to wait an hour because it was in the program. Because then, do you know what I mean? Whereas,
I'll be like, do this. No. Like, well, you don't get like 85% of what you want to do, and like you could probably do something else in between. Yeah. So it's not going to hurt you. Yeah, interesting. So we said nutrition through there. Okay, so training-based knowledge kind of goes in hand. So obviously nutrition results was online. We're going to go training.
Yeah, I think in person again, just because the amount of conversations you're going to have around it on a regular basis.
I think, the aspects you're around the gym more. Even though some people obviously, I live in the gym, I'm there all the time. But the fact is, you end up surrounding yourself with other coaches and trying things and being able to dabble and that kind of thing. And that does happen. You don't do it as much online, I can guarantee.
No.
Dan, spends more time in an office than a gym.
Yep.
Sure. Excel skills.
Yeah, I'm taking that one all day long, mate.
Yeah, which but that does lead on to an important point that I said in one of the things. So systems,
definitely online. Well, I say I mean it has to be, but the good ones we'll say.
I would say definitely online, and in even from a good one-to-one PT, I would still say an online system tends to be just easier to follow. It's just because it's kind of mapped out in front of you a little bit better. It seems to be people be able to do it a little bit better rather than the one-to-one system, because with that, people get in the way kind of thing. You might have the best system of being able to trying to follow your advice or whatever, or try your client journey, but the fact is that emotions and stuff play far more a part and that kind of thing, changing your mind. So which is good in some way, but systems in place. Programming,
I think if we're talking about good PTs, I'd still go with an in-person one.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I think a lot of PTs, even good PTs I've known, make it up on the spot.
Oh yeah.
And you could argue that they're good ones, so they can. It's an argument. Whereas with online, you kind of have to program because it's like you can't just like every week give someone their plan. So, do I think more good PTs make it up on the spot than? See, I think every online coach would have a program. Everyone should. I think should, but
they would have a program, but is it a good program?
Yeah,
that's to the client's goals. Is it that kind of thing? Remember what we did last week, mate? When I read out that thing, they were like, "Oh, gym newbie. I do lots of running, and I had a dodgy ankle once, and I want to get faster."
Yeah, his leg day, his push day, his pull day.
So that's the caveat we might live with.
Yeah, I think go with in person maybe.
That's interesting. That was good audio podcasting. Both of us took a sip at the same time.
But I just think with it, I think with the whole thing, I get asked occasionally like, "Oh, do I have to have done one-to-one? Do I have to have done in person and all this stuff?" And I think there's benefits to like both, obviously, of doing it or not doing it, not getting bad habits or whatever. But I genuinely believe that there's. If I was going to map out the perfect roadmap for people, the perfect one, for me, it would be you would be employed in a gym. So you're a bit more secure. You know what you're doing, do loads of hours, do really well, get clients given to you, make loads of mistakes, and you're cool. While doing that, you would then branch out to do online. You would start doing online stuff alongside it. You would set aside some time to do that. You would get to a point where you were busy with both. Then you would probably go, right, I'm going to maximize my online stuff, do that, move out from being employed to go maybe to a rented space. In that rented space, make sure you rent, if you can rent, per like day you're there, and do maybe 2 or 3 days a week rather than the whole week. Train your clients then, do the online stuff really, really well for the rest of the time. And then with your in-person stuff, you can then start only doing the hours you want to do. So you can stop waking up early, stop going late, all this sort of stuff. and do your online work the rest of the time. And I think that model works for a lot of people very, very well until they're at a point where they're busy enough to go, right, I either don't want to do in person, or I'm really happy with the balance I've got between the two. I think there's this huge rush to be online, which I get. Obviously, this year's kind of accelerated it a bit, but a lot of trainers are not built for online coaching for the very reason it's a desk job. They get into personal training because they're sick of doing a desk job, and they don't understand that online coaching is a desk job. It's a flexible one, and one that you can do in whatever room you want, or you can go to a coffee shop, or you can take a laptop to a gym with you if you want and sit there and do it, but you're still doing laptop computer-based work for the majority of the time. And I think that's why I always say to people, I think if in a perfect world, I would do both for a while until you figure out, because you might start online, get up to 30 clients and go, actually, I don't love it and I don't want to carry on doing that. Whereas if you go fully online, you kind of like lose that element of, oh, what do I do now going back one-to-one, because I've lost all my leads, I've lost all the reputation in that area that I had, because that's what you need in one-to-one. Which I think is then a bit harder to do. I realise that's a bit off on a tangent, but I think it's...
Yeah, but I think that's completely valid. And then people were looking at us going, what are we both 10 to... You're probably about 30 years into your career, Dan, but 10 to 15 years into our careers. But I'm literally that person. You've described both of our routes there, and you went into online and you started going through it. But I was that person who... We did the podcast, we got a little bit more known and blah, blah, blah. I started dabbling just like you. I was just like, I'm going to start supplementing my one-to-one income by doing, I had a little management role. I did this. And I was like, I didn't really know. I wanted to supplement my income because I was never concerned about my one-to-one clients. I always knew I was like being brash, but I always know I'm going to have clients. I always know I'm going to pick up people. I always have a waiting list. It's fine. I'm good at what I do for that. But I was like, all right, well, I want to earn more money. So that's the way I want to do this. And I started doing online work. And I like talking to the people. I like doing that bit. And like I write programs anyway. So that wasn't the issue. I just didn't like, the check, like, all right, I've got to do the check-in. I've got to do this at that time. I've got to be on my computer. And I'm like, it just wasn't, I didn't get excited about it at all. And I was like, this isn't me. And then obviously I made the move to be like, actually, I much prefer talking in front of people and educating and like going that way. And then I went into education instead. So it's definitely a valid thing. But it's just finding out what you want to do, which I could still say I'm an online educator, I guess. I definitely educate more online now than I ever have done.
I've had to.
Yeah, I've had to. No, we can't meet in large groups anyway. It's interesting how that goes as well. But both of us, from that standpoint, we both started in person. And what you said, so this is more of a discussion now. So there's obviously, like we said, we're just doing that little mix and match there of like what's better for online. They're probably better at nutrition. They've probably got greater systems. They've probably got programs. They probably check in. Probably what I said as well. I think this is an all-encompassing thing as well now, so we can talk about the shit ones. I think as a whole, the online coach will give more 27 value to their client than the in-person. And I think they will have better value for money and they hold them accountable more, probably get to know them and get them better results that way than an in-person. I think the client value is better. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the one thing you can do, 100%.
Yeah, I think for the clientele, especially, but you always have to weigh up. So the chances are, Dan, I'm going to go out on a limb here, that nearly all of your clients either just want to either lose a bit of weight, gain a bit of weight, or kind of just stay healthy. There's no performance-based goals. There's probably not much rehab involved. There's not like any kind of, I need to be able to do this movement. I'm training for this, like a triathlon or an event or something like that.
Very few, yeah.
Very few. I think that's few and far between. Whereas you
the only thing we have is like the photo shoots, which isn't really performance, is
correct.
But,
so that's
training to work towards.
But you'd say that still fits into the category of weight loss.
Yeah.
I would hope, unless they're going for a Mr. Blob competition.
Hey, it's a good competition. leave me alone. I'm doing it.
Going for it. Whereas you like skew into my clientele, and it's probably more about injury management and performance-based stuff and prepping for competitions, or we're prepping for, when I say competitions, it could be just be like generic like triathlons, and people just want to do that, and for running and stuff like that. But it's generally to do like, oh Tom, I snapped my Achilles, now I need to properly train for this, or I want to get back to playing rugby and stuff like that. That's generally how I go. It's not, I do obviously weight management, all that kind of crap, but it's that's just a side effect. It's not my focus. Whereas I think, Dan, that would be your focus. And then the other thing would be like the side kind of thing. So it's primary and secondary goals, right? Which is interesting. But yeah, you saw that from the one-to-one to online. It's versus like you can do either. You can do both. It doesn't really matter. It's just decides what's best for you in terms of personalities as well. Because yeah, some people are gonna suck. But one of the questions we always do get: what was your answer? If in an ideal world, would you have someone like? Would you? I don't know. Would you rather them do online before one-to-one, or one-to-one before online?
One-to-one before online. I don't. Yeah. I think it helps massively. It's not essential because, as we've discussed before, like Mike never did any one-to-one. He went straight to online. But I think it's a very unique way of doing it, and I think you have to be very good at coaching.
I mentioned him in the Q&A, and I used him as an example that he never did one-to-one, and he went straight into online. But knowing Mike as well, and knowing what he talks about online and stuff, he also stays in his lane. He doesn't start.
He does. Like, yeah. He does, and also
performance or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and also as well, I think there's also the element of he has a personality that he can share quite quickly online.
Yeah.
And I think he's very relatable in that sense. I don't think many people who would relate to Mike I don't think Mike would ever be the type of person to go into gym and get a PT. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that.
Yeah.
It's just that again. It's stereotyping a bit, but it's that sort of Jack the lad who probably thinks he knows everything and doesn't really want to ask for help anyway. So he'd rather have an online coach, so he goes to the gym, looks like he knows what he's doing, rather than ask for a PT's help. Do you know that's just stereotyping a bit. But when he was a lot younger, that's probably who he attracted. But I think
that's probably who he was as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think with that, I think it's. I think you learn so much through one-to-one. I think you learn so much about marketing yourself, about being professional, understanding how to actually train people, what they can do and required to. I think if you don't train people one-to-one and you just hand someone a training plan, you don't know at what intensity they're training, how hard they can train, how long they can train for. Whereas I remember I was quite shocked at how unfit people are in one-to-one sessions, at how much it takes to actually get into the point where they feel sick. I had one client and I was like, what? He's like, I feel really sick. I'm like, we've not even started. This is the warm-up. And you're like, oh my, like maybe holding a plank or some press ups and you're like, really? Like we've not even started TRX rows, stuff like that. Primer work, Tom, as you would call it. And it's just
we got a new name now, Daniel. It's physical prep.
Oh, have you? Okay. Physical prep, sorry. And it's one of those things where I think if I hadn't have done that, I would have messed up a few more times of online programming than if I hadn't have done that.
Yeah.
And I think also you learn about how to speak to people. You learn about how they react to the words you say, and you realize how important that can be. Because with online coaching, if you're saying something to someone and it's on video, you can't see their reaction. But you can see their reaction when you're in person and you're saying things to people. So you learn quickly how to use tone of voice and what things you need to say, the right things, the wrong things, when to say it in person, because you learn very, very quickly based on their feedback and body language, how they feel the rest of the session, whether they come back or not, all these things. Whereas online, you can't have that. A client may leave and you don't know why, and you're going to be left wondering why. And even then, clients leave and they don't tell you the truth. So you just have to deal with that. Whereas I think it's a lot easier to deal with the one-to-one side of things and knowing whether it was you or not, because you'll get a sense of that. Whereas online, it's very, very difficult to know if it was you or not, because people will tell you it's not you, but then you find out it is about you. And then you're like, shit, I did something wrong. But that's life. You can't, you're not going to help everyone. You can't help everyone. So don't try and help everyone. But I think that's the thing with one-to-one is I think you're going to get that click a lot quicker with someone. So you're going to know straight away. As online, people stick around for a while and go, I'm not really getting much out of it, and then leave maybe. But so that's why I think is creating relationships quickly with one-to-one. You have to, because you're seeing them more often. which is why I think it's so important. I think it makes it a lot easier from there to do one-to-one. To do online than to do just go straight online. I think it takes a very, very unique individual to go straight online.
I think so as well. I feel like it's just from a technical point of view. So in terms of coaching aspects, I can't say this with absolute certainty, but I would imagine most online coaches, if say they were to myself or one of my students, for example, that I would teach at Third Space or something like that, and they've done like 6 months of mentoring with me, and they've been coaching in person against an online coach who's been just doing 6 months of online coaching. I would guarantee almost put my house on it. If I had us, put Dan's house on it, that they would be able to coach a movement far more like effectively and efficiently than the online coach. Just from time in the gym, being able to coach. That's probably the biggest problem as well. And I count all people who've done degrees from this cannot coach their way out of a fucking paper bag. And that is probably one of the biggest things. Think about what you're doing as a trainer as well. You're trying to coach movement. You're trying to coach them to do something. You want your client to do something that you're telling them. Coaching is that's psychology, and it's coaching science. We literally had a module called coaching science, and it's how you word things, how you portray things. It's how you do all the external, internal cueing, where you stand. All this stuff just doesn't happen in an online world, so they wouldn't be able to. It's just as well as the one-to-one PT wouldn't be able to systemize and all that kind of stuff. But it's also from that. They are, from the programming point of view, is the big ones. And I've seen online coaches programs, quite easy to find. Google programs, bosh, there they are. That's what most, or they just nick Dan's. They sign up for a month of PT and then they change. Genuinely happens, guys. Genuinely happens. So yeah, both of us have had that. It's a great idea. You're like, I recognize that spreadsheet. Interesting. But you'll see gym flow as well, and like how things pair together. And what you said about
that's the thing
is the biggest thing, isn't it? It's like, all right, well, why is that person like? It'll be simple things like, all right, Dan, I probably wouldn't program you like a lat pull down and pull ups and then go into farmers carries. And the online coach might be like, whoa, they're different muscle groups, or they might be good muscle groups to work together. It's carry work and core work together. I'm like, yeah, but if you know in person, that person's grip is actually going to be butchered. Even though the different muscle groups they're working, the grip's going to be no bueno, right? They're not going to go well together. And then you start thinking about like sites of equipment and that kind of stuff. Is it feasible to do that next to that or paired with that? Or the intensity? That's another big thing as well. I think obviously like Lyle McDonald kicks off about some of this on the researchers, and they'll be like, I'm expected to do 80% 1RM back squats for sets of 12, 5 sets until maxing out all the way up. And you're like, that's what the research dictates that says we should be able to do. And you're like, well, nobody's ever doing that. Like it's a big thing. I can imagine with maybe getting some bodybuilding plans or powerlifting plans and be like, yeah, you see what you've written there? That takes about 2 hours. That's not going to happen. That's general thing, which obviously comes through, or it might be a lack of like programming. Like
I've seen it before with people. I've seen it before with people. They superset like leg extensions, hamstring curls, and you're like in a busy gym at 7 p.m. You reckon? Do you reckon? Not gonna happen, mate. Little things like that, it does. Like whenever I do like cable extensions for someone, I always try and do like 2 together on the thing. So like if they're doing them, they kind of go from, for example, if they were to do an upper body session and they had cable rows and then they had biceps and triceps to finish, I would do triceps then biceps, because I would do the push downs with the rope, for example, right? As an example. Things like that are things that you don't learn unless you are an in-person PT, because you're the one who has to fucking go between all the kit. So like to get the stuff. So you realize that's really annoying. So you realize that actually these things work out well. And, you know, it's funny when you do that sort of stuff. And again, things like single arm movements, single limb movements, like, so when I do 2 upper body days over a week, for example, on the first, let's say the first upper body day, I'll do like vertical pull, bilateral, and then a vertical push, unilateral, and then on the other upper day I'll switch it and I'll do the push, the vertical push, bilateral, and then do the other one unilateral, because I know that doing unilateral every single exercise the whole session doubles the length of time it takes to do it. Like, and it's just that thing where I think people get lost in that and they get excited all this stuff and then they don't think about the logistics of it all, and how it's all going to look and how it's all going to work and flow, and that's the one thing you get from being an in-person PT, and knowing what supersets work together and stuff like that. I always say to my clients, you can superset any of these exercises that work because of your gym layout. Let me know which ones work and I'll let you know if it's good or not, and based on muscle groups. Yeah. And it's kind of, there's that flexibility within the program to go, this is what I need to get done in the session. Tell me after this first week what the best order is going to be for you to do that in, match them up and all that sort of stuff. Whereas some PTs would be like, no, you got to do it in my order. I know that's my order. It's like finishing with 100 walking lunges. Brilliant. Well done, mate. You're a fucking like, it's that sort of thing. Like there's no 100% perfect way of doing it, and it requires that client input. And that's what online coaches suck at. Is I say, there's the exercise we need in there. This is how I would do it as optimal. If you can, how can you do it? Well, I prefer to do it this way. Do it that way. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to make a difference. Get it done, basically. But a one-to-one PT would know that. I don't think an online coach would get it as quickly.
Yeah. And if they do, then they might have done one-to-one before. I just think you just don't learn.
Yep.
You can't learn it behind a laptop.
For sure.
Unless you do the PT core, because we teach that shit. Crazy.
See, it's weird. Like, to me, it's basic, but I realize that I do things naturally that I should probably share more, because people don't think like that. They think they've heard from us that they need to unilateral and bilateral, but they might not do it that way. They may not think like that. Yeah, I just and it's the same with like arm exercises. A lot of people do unilateral stuff, and I'm like, it takes twice as long, mate. Why bother? Yeah, why waste people's time doing it? I just do bilateral, because arms, it doesn't really make a huge difference. It's things like that, I think. Again, people do rollouts with barbells. People do like barbells and rollouts. Just do it in the middle of squat rack. I think people might get a bit annoyed with that. It's just, yeah.
Did you see? There was, I don't know if I said it to you. There was like a guy that was obviously like curling in the squat rack, right? Is the big taboo if you listen to the show. Don't do that. But then there was a guy that was obviously, he was curling in the rack, and then one lad decided, was like, if you do that there, I'm gonna go do this here. And he went over to the preacher curl and started squatting the easy bar. Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna use this as my squat right there. Like, good work. It's nice. So I think it's all quite interesting. It helps. I think that will help a lot of people in terms of what they want to go into and what they've quite deem experience they need to get. So especially as you're a new trainer, I would just be like, all right, let's go and train fuckers. Like, go and train people. Go train people for free. Jesus Christ. Don't be, obviously you have to pay bills, that kind of stuff. But if you get the knowledge and experience of starting to learn just from the coaching aspect of it, I feel like that's invaluable. And you'll learn.
Honestly as well, I think a lot of people would struggle with online coaching. The thing they struggle with is getting leads and stuff like that. It's a hell of a lot easier getting leads in person than it is online.
This is what we were saying as well. It's like, all right, yeah, online, obviously the pool is bigger because everybody's online, but it's also incredibly diluted. And the fact is that we would urge, basically, myself and Luke, obviously myself and Dan went from a position where we were paid a small salary to be in the gym to cover hours. So that is the shift work. We weren't allowed to PT on, but then we were also in a gym of 1,500 members. And suddenly we've got our client base ready to go, right? Because
there's your 1,500 followers, right?
Exactly.
You don't have to work for it. They're there. They're coming in.
Already there, and they're going to be in front of you and seeing you all the time. So they suddenly, and everything you do is content for them. Like being around them, talking to them, interacting with them. That is all content. That is how we put it. And then obviously that's we'd say, this is how I put it. I was like, we went in PT at the premium end of the market. So we got paid a salary to be there, and that's not always a luxury. There are other models, obviously, that the hours is free, and basically you do like maybe 10 to 15 hours for free that you're in the gym, but then that maybe either comes off or voids your rent. Basically, then you can charge whatever you want to charge. Bearing in mind, me and Dan had to pay per session to train people. We got a cut per hour, and we didn't get the full hourly rate.
A small cut.
A small cut. Mine got larger over time. Had to fight for that as well. So yeah, you get a cut of whatever percentage it is, and then if you work it out on the rent, you're like, fuck. And you'd be like, all right, but you wouldn't have had that leg up. I've never had to worry about a client in my life. It was like, I could be truthfully honest about that. I've never had to really worry.
Yeah, the thing is as well is like if you're the type of person who's going to struggle to strike up a conversation with someone in the gym and get a one-to-one client from being in the gym and showing off your work in the gym, people watching, getting to know you, wanting to train with you, you're not going to be able to do it online. Like, if you can't do it in person, do you think that's hard? If you think that's hard, do you know, that's the thing I say to people is like, that's like, I think Phil Learney said it is like, if it's like you can't sit there on your phone in between clients. Yeah. Like you're literally like you're tweeting and you're Instagramming people who aren't in front of you to try and get clients, and you have people walking past you all the time and you're ignoring them. And it's so stupid.
Because like if you want to do online coaching and there's people who already want coaching in the gym, maybe they can
still do it online after.
They can still do it online. They don't have to do it like just because they're in the gym doesn't mean they can't be an online client. Like crazy. Both me and you have had that, right? Where people literally train in the gym that we train people at, but they didn't want to do online. They didn't want to do it in person because they didn't need a complete hand holding. They just wanted to have a little chat every now and again. That's it.
Yep.
You're like, all right, but they want their programs written for them. Like, it's online coaching. But it's crazy. So the other models are like that. So that'd be like the self-employed, but you work, I don't know if it's employed or self-employed. I guess you're meant to pay rent, but you can avoid it by like just paying rent to something. It's a weird concept, isn't it? You spend all this money to get qualified to earn a job to pay rent to another company so you can work there. It's a strange concept. I have to pay you to work here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's being reasonable. Yeah. So yeah, you can do that, or you can just go the full on like I'm going to pay rent and try and get clients in this gym. I would say the shift based from obviously the premium, if you can get paid for the shifts, crack on, do that, run and do it. You get to do classes, you get in front of people, do it. If you get the shift model that gets away from, basically means you don't have to pay rent and then you can work the other days, like for whatever, do that. Like you're in the gym, you're meeting people, you'll probably then take classes on that. You're getting in front of people and whatever. Like ours was a small gym, 1,500 members. You don't have more than members than that, 3,000 probably on average. And then you're going to be a commercial gym like that runs that kind of model. And do that, try and go through that. And then I would say, as bad as online is, it's the gyms a private gym that only does personal training for a new personal trainer, fucking terrible idea. You don't have any clients. You're going to go to a private gym that has an incredibly small amount of people in front of you, not a vast amount, who have an interest in training. That's a ridiculous idea. And usually those private gyms only really do PT. So it's normally the PTs that are in there. You'd be like, oh, but they're always busy. Yeah, because they've probably done stuff elsewhere and then
started off employed.
They bring their clients over. That's how it works. Like those clients, they follow. It's amazing.
They rely on referrals then after that.
I would pretty much guarantee if I moved from Third Space to a gym around the corner, I'd say 75% to nearly 100% of all my clients would just follow me over there and be like, all right, well, I'm going to go train at Tom over there. It's all right. Unless they probably just keep their membership because they're paying that rate anyway. And they'll just go over there to PT. So yeah, it's a new PT. Don't do that model. I would say not the private gym. And then you're panicking about making rent for that as well. And you've also got rent for this, probably your home. So I think that's not a great way to start out. I would say try and supplement it with online, start getting into the process of it. But you're going to want to do that either the hours, learning how a gym operates, that kind of thing, and try and go PT classes and all that kind of stuff as a while. And then you decide which model you want to go to. And then you start doing online. That would be our advice. Wonderful, Daniel.
There you go.
We'll leave it there, shall we? Easy as that. I mean, I think we covered a lot of shit. Any other business?
No, not from me.
Not from you. No. Got last week of filming in the gym. And then I won't be filming in the gym. Still got to film though. So, woo! All the work happening. Kind of want the gym. I'm going to get blasphemy, like absolute blasphemy for saying this. kind of wish the gyms were open like not until the end of April, so I could do some like more work and I wouldn't have to go to work. So, what we got, like 3 weeks, 4 to 5, 4 weeks, 4 weeks.
I think it's 4 weeks. It was 4 weeks Monday. Yeah.
4 weeks till.
Not that I'm counting.
We got about 11, 12 days until golf course is open, so that's good.
Great.
So I'll be happy. Yeah, no business from me, obviously. We'll try to get a guest on, I guess, in the next week or two. Either I'm going to reach out or Dan actually might talk to somebody for a change. You never know.
If you want me to, tell me who, and I'll reach out to someone.
Isabel's going to come on for the next show.
Oh, we're going to get chat away. She would.
Health and fitness from a 5-year-old. She's good, Vance. All right, mate. Thanks for listening, everybody. Go leave a rating, that kind of stuff. Obviously, rate us on Apple Podcasts. I don't think you can rate us on Spotify.
Do we have any new ones?
I have no idea. I haven't looked.
I didn't even check.
We do check every now and again, and then we get annoyed.
We do, don't we?
Yeah, and I'm like,
we have to.
In the 146 ratings.
Is that up or?
I don't think
it is it?
So apparently
that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, still the same.
There's definitely people that have listened to the whole show because I could see you. I know where you live. I don't know where you live. I just know vaguely where you downloaded it, and they put it in. So we definitely have more than 146 listeners. So yeah, Daniel.
That's good.
Yeah. But if you haven't done that, pop it in there because me and Daniel we just want to be loved, and that's about it. This is how we get our satisfaction. In lockdown,
yeah.
It's the only way of doing it, isn't it? Exactly.
We just need to know people love us.
Yeah. All right, mate. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you.
Catch you later.